Alright, let's take a look at Katherine Heigl, who played Izzy in Grey's Anatomy, and has been in some other films as well. Alright, so essentially she's got an oval-shaped face, and the mouth is a bit wide. The lips are full though, and they look to be natural, about equal size of the upper lip as well as the lower lip. The eyes are a little bit wide set, but there are some places in Europe where women will have eyes that are a bit wider set. The nose is small and delicate. There's not an overlong gap between the nose and the mouth. The overall length of the face is not too extreme. There's definite softness around the face and the jaw, you can tell. That's much more of a female trait. You can immediately see there's a slope to the shoulders here. So again, there's female softness to the face. Doesn't look like we have a brow ridge. There's no prominent cheekbones. There's no strong, square jawline. Female fat on the arms as well as on the legs. You've got a gradual shape to the lower leg here, curving down at the ankle. No definition around the ankles. The feet don't look large. You can see there's a curve in the back here. Because of the dress we can't actually tell about the lower back, but the upper back does have a slight curve. She does seem to have pretty small hands, and you have to be careful when judging the digit ratio when the hand is interacting with anything, because the fingers will be bent, but it does look like there's a female digit ratio here. Female looking arms. Again, that slope to the shoulder. The bones aren't really defined. High point of the waist and the hips do expand. Again, there's no prominent brow ridge. There's no prominent cheekbones. It's just a very essentially soft looking female face. So here you can tell that there's a waist indentation point significantly above the navel. Her ribcage is small as well. The actual width of the shoulder bones compared to where we have the pelvis, the hip bones, looks about equal. And you can tell there's curve to the thighs as well. Yeah, there is a female digit ratio with the index longer than the ring finger. Again, the mouth is a bit big, but at the same time, it doesn't look astonishingly huge like sometimes you see on the MTFs. And she definitely looks like a girl as a child. Just a very female energy and demeanor. The female sloped shoulders. Same thing here. It's just a very essentially female look. The ears do look pretty small as well. The forehead does appear to be mostly kind of rounded. There's no prominent brow ridge. There is just a softness about the face. There's nothing sharp and jutting and angular and gaunt. Again, you can see there's some curve in the back here. There is female softness all over this person. Essential female body fat that you can see in the face and in the body. Again, with a gradual curve to the legs here. Typically men who have about this size of body, like an average weight, they'll have more of a definition to the upper part of the calf muscle here. And then it'll be kind of straighter down here. But for women, typically you'll have more of a kind of gradual line coming down, like we see here. Again, with the slope to the shoulders. It does appear like we've got a female arm length as well. If you check out where the crotch level reaches on her arm, it does appear to be at about the palm. These are very sloped shoulders, properly female. As I've mentioned before, on the MTFs, often they'll have their actual neck, the part that you could strictly call the neck, it's too long, and then sometimes they'll build up the trapezius muscles so that you'll have a sort of approximation of a female slope, but it has a sort of strange, sharp, like kind of pyramid look. With women, there's more of a curve, and the actual portion that's strictly the neck, after the slope of the shoulders, is quite short, and you see that here. Again, you see the softness around here, the chin and everything. It's a very female-looking face. Here we can actually see that there's a curve to the lower back as well as the upper back. And at the waist indentation point, high up here, we have rounded female hips coming out from that point. Again, the essential female body fat in the arms as well. And younger, again, she just looks very female. There's a female energy in the eyes, kind of more subdued, inviting kind of look than you see in the challenging male look you find in MDFs. And again, if you actually look from where the shoulder bones are up here, look at where the thigh bone connects into the pelvis here, you'll see it's equal. And what's always important is the female Q angle, which she does appear to have. She's got a kind of knock-kneed appearance, which you don't really see on men, but it is something that you often see on women. Again, the length of her arms appears to be female, with the crotch level reaching across to about the palm. The arms angle out at the shoulders, as they should on a female. So far we haven't seen anything strange going on in the neck, no extreme tracheal development, no Adam's apple. This is one of her pregnant photos. You can see she's put on weight everywhere. There is weight in the arms, in the legs, and the thighs, and down below. Does appear to be swelling in the ankles. There's some extra fat retained in the face as well. She appears to have gained weight in the torso region as well. This looks like a pregnant woman. Right, so here again you can see the rounded female forehead shape, delicate female nose, shallow set female eyes, the small ear, no sharpness around here anywhere. From the chin you have the chin to neck slope more commonly found on females, because females will have subcutaneous body fat to a degree that men will not, and you'll see that in this portion around the face, even in generally kind of slim women. Nothing strange going on in the neck. Curve to the upper back, curve to the lower back, beginning at the high point of the female waist indentation. This is a skeletal curve which cannot be faked, and which means that the person exhibiting it is female. They can attempt to approximate this through means such as fat contouring onto the body, with Brazilian butt lift and other similar procedures, but still you can tell when those kind of procedures have been done, and this just looks like a natural female skeletal curve. And the dress is looser here, so you can't see as much of the curve here. She's also tilting this arm, this shoulder backward a bit, and the other one away. So this is essentially a shot that will make the female body appear the least curved possible. But I like to point out pictures like this and explain how the posing is achieving a look that looks confusing to people, because otherwise they'll look at something like this and assume that everything else they've seen no longer applies. But the thing is, if you watch these people actually in motion, watch the things they're in, and then also look at how many photos they appear either natural or transgendered in, if you find that typically they look like they're natural, and then you see a shot like this, then, still look at the other ones and look at videos of them and so forth, and you'll be able to figure out what's what. Again, as mentioned before, she has that kind of knock-kneed look. You can see, if you see what I mean, when she has one leg standing straight like this, the knee is leaned in considerably, just as a skeletal structural thing, and then the lower leg kind of bends outward a bit. And I have seen this look on some other girls that I've known in my life as well, but I haven't seen it on men. You can tell that her Q angle is female, not male. Again, the bone structure is looking female, the arm length and everything looking female. Again, the delicate features on a face that retains fat, as female faces typically will, especially when women get into their 30s and beyond, and especially after they've had children. So here she's got that kind of glowing, flushed, pregnant woman look. Some extra fat retained around the face, and in the upper arms here you can see it as well. And also you can tell there's a bit around this region as well. So it's not just that she's stuck a moon bump on the front, she's actually gained fat in other places in order to nourish the child that she is growing within her. Again, there's that female slope to the shoulders. She's got quite a delicate look here. I'd say you could fit maybe a 2.5 head widths on the shoulders. That's a female dimension, and when she's aged a little bit and when she puts on weight, it goes where it should go on a female, first of all to the hips, the thighs, and the chest. So again, you couldn't fit 3 head widths on the shoulders. The arms angle out at the shoulders, you've got the proper female waist indentation, you've got the wide female hips. The width of the hips is equal to the width of the shoulders. We've got a female Q angle, got female shape to the legs as well. Same things here. Essential, proper female body fat and curves where they should be. This kind of dress will immediately make shoulders look larger as well. And when something is worn just below the shoulder here, it makes it appear as though the width of the shoulders is greater than it actually is. But if you again look at how wide her hips come out and compare it to where the actual bones in her shoulders are, then you can tell she's got female dimensions. Again, there are no jutting bones, there's nothing strange going on in the neck, you don't see a highly developed trachea, you don't see an Adam's apple. There's softness in the face, essential female body fat on this person. Same thing, the knees are soft, you don't have definition like you do on men. The distribution of her weight goes to female places. Her hands look quite small and female. And while the mouth is larger than you expect on some women, it's actually not huge, and most MTFs have larger mouths than this. The thing is, because she's got wider set eyes, it will fit with her face for her to have a wider mouth as well, because typically faces will be in proportion. Again, the proper female curves and fat distribution on the body. It does appear like her legs make up quite a large proportion of the length of her body. Typically, females will proportionally have longer legs, while men will have proportionally longer torsos. Again, as mentioned, her eyes are somewhat wider spaced. The fact that she's got a wider mouth fits with that, because typically faces will be in proportion, so the corner of the mouth usually will reach up to the pupil in the eye. But if you look at these traits and the face they're actually set in, the eyes are shallow set, there's no brow ridge, there's no prominent cheekbones, there's a small delicate female nose, there's no strong jaw, there's softness around the face. So yes, her eyes are wider set, but overall, the face is looking very female. Same thing I've mentioned before here with the kind of knock-kneed look. The female Q angle, female arm length, female frame. She doesn't look like a huge person even though she's quite tall, so again, the arms angle out at the shoulders, we've got a high female waist indentation. This shoulder is angled forward, so it will appear as if the shoulders are wider, because this leg is also stepping back, the far leg, so the hips won't appear as wide in comparison. But still, you can tell we've got that essential rounded, curved female hip shape that is continually curving, not like on the MTFs, where they'll usually have pretty straight torsos or they'll have slight inclines. But on women, they'll have hips start up high with a rounded shape. You can tell that the navel's at this height. So again, the waist indentation is above. Again, the bone structure looks quite delicate. There's proper slope to the shoulders. Same things here. She's got a softness and an essential female appearance to her. And if you look at the energy in the eyes, is it intense? Is it challenging? No, it's quite subdued, quite quiet. It's a gentle feminine glow, not a radiant masculine burn. Same thing here, there's just no male energy. There's nothing weird in the neck, softness to the face. Chin comes into a point, in an oval face. And again with that essentially female figure with the curves on both sides after the waist indentation, which is above the navel. There's a rounded shape, and there's a Q angle, like you should see on a female. Same things here, female Q angle, pretty long female legs, female arm length. Again, when she was pregnant, she actually did put on extra weight, like women will when they're pregnant. Also note the small feminine looking ear. The hands do look delicate. Again, just that roundness to the cheek, that's much more female. High waist indentation, female hips, the female slope, female curves, delicate looking wrists, really small looking female hands, some small delicate features. Another pregnant shot, you can see the essential weight gain that women will have in order to carry a child to term and ensure that it's healthy. This looks very much like a little girl to me as well. Same thing here, got the rounded female skull. And because she's very thin at this age, the gangly teenager stage makes the hands look bigger, but they're actually not very large. This is something that confuses a lot of people, as when women are really skinny, then they'll think that their skulls look too large or their hands look too large. But if you actually look at the size of the hand and compare it to the skull, not just the arms, then you'll see that it's actually not very large, and she's not full grown yet, so you can't judge too much by the younger shots as well. Again, nothing weird in the neck, proper female slopes. Same thing here, she's got quite a hefty forehead, but this isn't an actual protruding brow ridge, it's just that there's quite a lot of heft to the skull overall. This is a genetic look that you'll find in some places in Europe. With the name Heigl, I'm assuming she's probably got some German ancestry, and I have seen German women who have wider spaced eyes and hefty foreheads. So we always have to look at the person and say, is there a balance? Does this person fit that balance? Instead of just saying, I have a tick list or a checklist of things that I don't think look correct on males and females, because there will be some crossover in facial traits and such. There will be some crossover. There's a couple things that you should not be seeing from one gender to the other, but with genetics there is a lot of variation in people, and we have to always consider that when we're looking at people instead of just leaping to conclusions. This body looks very female. The high waist indentation above the navel, the rounded female curve to the hips, that continues downward to where we've got the wider thigh bone connecting with the pelvis, and creating a female Q angle, softness to the joints, gradual curves on the legs here. So judging from her facial traits and bodily traits, as well as the fluid retention and the gaining of essential fat to support pregnancy, this is clearly a biological female. And that's that.